Our topic for today is Republic Act 9165, or it's also known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002. So what is Republic Act 9165? Republic Act number 9165, or otherwise known as the Dangerous Drug Act of 2002, which was passed into law on June 7, 2002. It overhauled the 30-year-old Dangerous Drug Act of 1972. The new law increased the penalties for drug-related offenses while placing more emphasis on the rebuilding of lives through rehabilitation and treatment. So, meron tayong lumang batas na 6425 or Republic Act 6425. So, yun yung luma nating batas. So, it take 30 years para mabago or mapalitan yung content ng batas na yon. So, ang purpose ng pag-revise ng batas is para magkaroon ng bagong rehabilitation and treatment on the part of the offender. So, yun yung pinakamagandang nailagay sa batas na to. And nadagdagan din yung mga penalties. Okay? So, let's go now to the definition of terms. First, what is administered? So, any act of introducing any dangerous drug into the body of any person with or without his knowledge by means of injection, inhalation, ingestion, or other means, or of committing any act of indispensable assistance to a person in administering a dangerous drug to himself, herself, unless administered by a duly licensed practitioner for the purpose of medication. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi nating administer, ito na yung paglagay natin ng drugs sa katawan natin. Or, kahit anong tao na hindi naman duly licensed na paglagay ng drugs sa katawan natin. Okay? That is administer. Next is chemical diversion. The sale, distribution, supply, or transport of legitimately imported, in transit, manufactured, or procured controlled precursors and essential chemicals in diluted mixture or in concentrated form to any person or entity engaged in the manufacture of any dangerous drug and shall include packaging, repackaging, labeling, relabeling, or concealment of such transaction through fraud, destruction of documents, fraudulent, use of permits, misdeclaration, use of front, companies, or mail fraud. So, pag sinabi nating chemical diversion, so for example, mag-i-export ka ng gamot. So, ang nakalagay lang doon na gamot is biogesic. Kaya lang, hindi pala biogesic ang laman ng box mo, kundi ibang drugs. Okay, such as shabu. So, depende kung anong nakalagay doon. So, ang pinapakita lang is legal yung pangalan, pero yung content, illegal. Para maipuslit mo lang yung illegal drugs na sinasabi natin. So, misrepresentation, no? Parang iba yung nakalagay, yung laman ng box, iba yung dineclare mo na laman na gamot. Okay? Next. So, clandestine laboratory. Any facility used for the illegal manufacture of any dangerous drug and or controlled precursor and essential chemical. So, pag sinabi nating clandestine laboratory, isa siyang facility wherein doon minamanufacture yung illegal drugs. Or, usually, ngayon yung kwan natin is yung clandestine laboratory natin, hindi na tulad ng dati na malalaking factories ang ginagamit, kundi ang tawag natin dito is kitchen type laboratory na napapatayo sa mga high-end na condominium. So doon sila nagkukuta or doon sila gumagawa ng mga illegal drugs such as shabu. No, bakit doon sila naglalagay? Kasi unang-una, mahihirapan yung mga intelligence officer natin para pasukin yung mga high-end na condominium or yung mga village na high-end. So, kailangan nila ng mga mas magandang cover story and kailangan nilang itayo talaga na taga doon sila. So, mahihirapan pumasok yung mga operatives natin sa mga high-end na condominium and high-end na subdivision. Kaya doon sila nagpapatayo ng mga clandestine laboratory. So, tulad ng nakikita natin, so I think this is from Pampanga or Tarlac, something na laboratory. Okay, so these are pictures shows example of laboratories. Okay, so confirmatory tests. So an analytical test using a device, tool, or equipment with a different chemical or physical principle that is more specific, which will validate and confirm the result of the screening test. Okay? So pag sinabi natin confirmatory, it will confirm any result of drugs. So for example, nag-positive siya sa marijuana, mag-undergo to ng confirmatory test to establish the proof na positive talaga siya. So next is controlled delivery. The investigative technique of allowing an unlawful or suspect consignment of any dangerous drug or controlled precursor and essential chemical, equipment or paraphernalia or property believed to be delivered directly or indirectly from any offense to pass into, through, or out of the country under the supervision of an authorized officer with a view to gathering evidence, identity, or identify any person involved in any dangerous drugs related offense or to facilitate prosecution of the offense. So it means to say, if we will say controlled delivery, they will allow the suspected package to go to the person. So ibig sabihin, kung sinong nakapangalan doon, for example, nagpadala ako. Now, that is suspected, there is a content of drugs. So, imamark yun. Ngayon, hahayaan nilang i-deliver. For example, yung nilagay ko doon na magre-receive is si Juan de la Cruz. Ngayon, i-deliver nila kay Juan de la Cruz but under the supervision of our agents. Ang purpose nito is para malaman nila kung sino yung mga taong nabibentahan ng drugs at kung gaano kalalim yung connection nila. So that is the purpose of controlled delivery. Parang i-allow nila yung illegal drugs na ma-transmit, maipadala. Tapos, mamanmanan nila yung mga magre-receive. So yun yung purpose ng controlled delivery. Okay? So, controlled precursors and essential chemicals. Those listed in tables 1 and 2 of the 1988 UN Convention against illicit traffic in narcotic, drugs, and psychotropic substances, as enumerated in the attached annex, which is an integral part of this act. So, next is cultivate or culture. Any act of knowingly planting, growing, raising, or permitting the planting, growing, or raising of any plant which is the source of dangerous drugs. Okay? Now, ito yung sinasabi natin magtatanim ka, tapos palalakihin mo yung marijuana, for example, no? Kasi that is natural, no? So, magtatanim ka, palalakihin mo yung marijuana, and then, ibibenta mo. That is cultivate or culture, no? Kasi, ang tinitingnan natin dito is yung pagtatanim mismo. Okay? Next is, so these are examples of chemicals used in manufacturing illegal drugs. So what is dangerous drugs? It includes those listed in the schedule of Annex to the 1961 Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs, as amended by the 1972 Protocol, and in the schedules annexed to the 1971 Single Convention on Psychotropic Substance, such as enumerated in attached annex. So we discussed that the first meeting on what is dangerous drugs. Okay? So what is the word deliver? Any act of knowingly passing a dangerous drug to another person or otherwise, and by any means, with or without consideration. So ibig sabihin, kung ako, mayroon akong drugs, ibibigay ko sa ibang tao, that is delivered. Okay? Passing a dangerous drug to another. Usually, in the form of deliver or delivery, ngayon, ang mga nagkakaroon na ng drugs is ina-undergo na ng parcel. So, LBC, yung mga yon, nilalagay sa loob ng laruan. So, marami silang way para ma-deliver yung dangerous drugs. Okay? Then, dive or resort. So, a place where any dangerous drug and or controlled precursor and essential chemical is administered, delivered, stored for illegal purposes, distributed, sold, or used in any form. Okay? For example, yung bahay mo, no, doon ka nagbibenta, doon ka na rin nagpapagamit, that is a drug then. Okay? There are resort na ginagamit din for deliveries, meetups. No. Doon nila ginagawa yung mga meetups kasi hindi masyadong halata. Or doon na nila mismo ginagamit kasi mga resort may mga kwarto yan. So doon na nila ginagamit. So that is then dive or resort. Dispense. Any act of giving away, selling, or distributing medicine or any dangerous drug with or without the use of prescription. So, yung pagbibigay ng gamot or medicine or any dangerous drug. Drug syndicate. Any organized group of 2 or more persons forming or joining together with the intention of committing any offense prescribed under this act. Okay? So, for example, si Juan de la Cruz, si Juan Agapito, mga pusher. So, nag-isa yung grupo nila, it can be considered as drug syndicate. Okay? Next, employee of den, dive or resort. The caretaker, helper, watchman, lookout, and other person working in the den, dive, or resort, employed by the maintainer, owner, and operator, where any dangerous drug and or controlled precursor and essential chemical is administered, delivered, distributed, sold, or used with or without compensation in connection with the operation thereof. Okay? For example, mayroon kang drug den. Now, yung mga nagbabantay doon, yung mga lookout mo, it will fall under employee of a den. Di mo man sila sinasahudan, pero pinapatake mo sila ng drugs, automatically, that is an employee of a den or drug den, dive or resort. For example, may resort ka, ginagamit mo para makabenta ng illegal drugs. Doon ka na rin nagpapagamit sa loob. So, yung in-employ mong security guard can be considered as employee of a den. Okay? Kahit yung mga janitor mo. So, that will fall under employee of a den. Financier. Any person who pays for, raises, or supplies money for, or underwrites any of the illegal activities prescribed under this act. So, yung nagbibigay ng puhunan, ang tawag natin doon is financier. Okay? So, kahit sinong tao na nagbibigay ng puhunan para mag-operate yung drug den, para makapagbenta ng drugs, okay, financier ang term na ginagamit natin sa kanya. Okay? Illegal trafficking. The illegal cultivation, culture, delivery, administration, dispensation, manufacture, sale, trading, transportation, distribution, importation, exportation, and possession of any dangerous drug and or controlled precursor and essential chemical. So, ito yung tinatawag nating illegal trafficking. So, usually, ang kwan ng illegal trafficking is siya yung nagdi-distribute, siya yung nag-i-export ng mga drugs. Okay? So, pag drugs kasi, hindi naman ibig sabihin na si Juan de la Cruz, siya lang nag-iisa, no? May mga kasama to para ma-distribute nila ng maayos yung drugs. Next is instrument. Anything that is used in or intended to be used in any manner in the commission of illegal drug trafficking or related offenses. So, lahat ng ginagamit sa pag-take ng drugs, sa pag-transport, sa pag-manufacture ng drugs, that is instrument. Okay? What is laboratory equipment? The paraphernalia, apparatus, materials, or appliances when used, intended for use, or designed for use in the manufacture of dangerous drug or controlled precursor, an essential chemical such as reaction vessel, preparative purifying equipment, fermenters, separatory funnel, flash, heating mantle, gas generator, order substitute. Okay? So, marami kasi, no, ang ginagamit sa isang laboratory equipment. Dapat may lutuan to, dapat may freezer, dapat mayroong heater, may exhaust fan, may mga funnel, yung mga ginagamit doon sa laboratory, kumpleto sila para manufacture sila ng drugs. Okay? So, doon na tayo sa manufacture. Okay? The production, preparation, compounding, or processing of any dangerous drug and controlled precursor and essential chemical, either directly or indirectly or by extraction from substances of natural origin or independently by means of chemical synthesis or by combination of extraction and chemical synthesis, and shall include any packaging or repackaging of such substances, design or configuration of its form, or labeling or relabeling of its container, except that such terms do not include the preparation, compounding, packaging, or labeling of drugs. Ayun. So, pag sinabi natin, in short, ito yung paggawa mismo ng illegal drugs. So, it's either they will repack or ipapackaging na lang yung drugs para mabagsak na doon sa market. Okay? So that is manufacture, or in short, paggawa. Okay? So let's go now to cannabis, or commonly known as marijuana. Okay? Or Indian hemp, and maraming pang term na ginagamit dito. Okay? Embraces every kind, class, genus, or species of the plant Cannabis sativa L, including but not limited to Cannabis americana, hashish, bang, guasa, chorus, and ganjab, and embraces every kind, class, and character of marijuana, whether dried or fresh, and flowering. Flowering or fruiting tops, or any part or portion of the plant and seeds thereof, and all its geographic varieties, whether as reaper, resin, extract, tincture, or any form or whatsoever. So, very common tong marijuana plant, especially dito sa lugar natin. Kasi, sabi nila, dito daw nanggagaling yung supply ng marijuana, especially on the part of mountainous region, no? Hindi kasi maiiwasan yung pagtatanim niyan, especially doon sa mountainous region, kasi mas malaki yung kikitain nila kumpara sa pagtatanim ng kamuting kahoy, yung mga crops na tumutubo doon sa bundok. Mas gusto nilang tamnan na lang ng marijuana kasi unang-una, mas madaling mabenta and mas mahal yung value. Okay? Next is methylene methamphetamine. Okay? Or Mdma. No? Or commonly known as ecstasy. So, refers to the drug having such chemical composition, including any of its isomers or derivatives in any form. So, marami kasing klase ng ecstasy at iba-iba yung tama nila. So, next is methamphetamine hydrochloride, or it is also known as shabu. Okay? Pag sinabi nating methamphetamine hydrochloride, ito yung tinatawag nating shabu. Okay? So, ice, meth, or any term used sa mga addicts or pushers. Now, refers to the drug having such chemical composition, including any of its isomers or derivatives in any form. Okay? Ito yung tinatawag nating performance cocaine. No? Speed, yung mga yan. So, ito yung shabu. No? Next is planting of evidence. So, ito, nakukumit lang ng mga law enforcer, yung planting of evidence. The willful act by any person of maliciously and surreptitiously inserting, placing, adding, or attaching directly or indirectly to any overt or covert act, whether the quantity of any dangerous drugs or controlled precursor and essential chemical in the person, house, effects, or the immediate vicinity of an innocent individual for the purpose of implicating, incriminating, or imputing the commission of any violation of this act. Okay? So, ang nangyayari sa planting of evidence, for example, huhulihin mo si Juan de la Cruz. Now, gusto mong mag-positive yung pagkakahuli niya. So, uhulugan mo. No, that is planting. Hulugan mo ng marijuana, shabu, ganun, para mag-positive. So, usually, ang term doon is planting of evidence. So, alam naman natin what is planting of evidence. Hindi yung magtatanim ka doon ng marijuana, hintayin mo hanggang lumaki. Hindi yun yung pinag-uusapan natin. No? So, for example, may search warrant ka, ngayon, gusto mo nang mag-positive agad, no? Pag-search mo sa bahay niya, hulugan mo ng marijuana or drugs, that is planting of evidence. Kahit bala, that is planting of evidence. Usually, may incriminate na. So, during search warrant, may nakuha kayong items. So, automatically, tendency niyan is pwedeng ma-sentensyahan ng guilty yung tao. So, yun yung pinaka-kwan ngayon na iniiwasan ng law enforcement is naglalagay na sila ng body cam pag magsa-search sila. So, lahat naka-record. So, yun yung SOP yata ng mga raiding elements natin. Okay? Next, protector or cuddler. Any person who knowingly and willfully consent to the unlawful acts provided for this act and uses her influence, power, or possession in shielding, harboring, screening, or facilitating the escape of any person she knows or has reasonable grounds to believe and or suspects has violated the provisions of this act in order to prevent the arrest, prosecution, and conviction of the violator. Okay? For example, si Kapitan, no, may kakilala siyang pusher. Ngayon, pinagtatakpan niya. No, hindi niya sinasabi yung pangalan niya at hindi niya sinasabi yung whereabouts kung asan yung pusher na yon. So, it will fall under protector or cuddler. Kasi hinahayaan niya eh. Totally, lahat naman ng nangyayari sa community, alam ng mga barangay officials. Pero may mga, hindi ko naman nila lahat, may mga barangay officials na hindi nila sinasabi kasi kamag-anak. So, it will fall under protector and cuddler. So, pinapahirapan yung mga law enforcement natin para matanggal agad yung pusher or user doon sa area. Okay? Next is pusher. No. Any person who sell, trade, administer, or dispense, delivers, or give away to another or any terms of whatsoever, or distribute, dispatches in transit, or transport dangerous drugs, or who acts as a broker in any such transaction in violation of this act. So, ibig sabihin, pusher, no? Yung taga-benta ng drugs. Kung minsan, yung mga nagbibenta, doon na nila pinapagamit doon sa bahay nila, ang bagsak ng bahay nila is drug den. Okay? So, para mas mabilis yung transaction nila. And sometimes, gumagamit din yung mga pusher ng mga runner na nagtatransport ng drugs or nagdi-deliver ng drugs. So, pag ang tao nagbibenta, automatically, it will fall under pusher. Okay? Next, sell. Nagbibenta. Any act of giving away any dangerous drugs and or controlled precursor and essential chemical, whether for money or any consideration. So, ngayon, hindi na tayo cash to cash basis, no? Pag nagbibenta yung mga pusher is nag-online din sila. So, through GCash or bank transfer na rin yung ginagamit nila bago nila i-deliver yung drugs. Trading. Transactions involving the illegal trafficking of dangerous drugs and controlled precursors and essential chemicals using electronic devices such as but not limited to text, messages, email, mobile or landlines, two-way radios, internet, instant messenger, and chat rooms, or acting as a broker in any such transaction, whether for money or any consideration in violation. So, pag sinabi nating trading, ito yung mga taong nagta-traffic ng drugs through other means. Ngayon, napaka-high-tech na nila. So, kahit sa Messenger, sa WhatsApp, yung mga other app na ginagamit nila para makapag-dispose sila ng illegal drugs. And yung transaction nila, tulad ng sinabi ko, is by means of GCash, online transaction. Okay? Use any act of injecting intravenously or intramuscularly of consuming either by chewing, smoking, sniffing, eating, allowing, drinking, or otherwise introduced into the psychological system of the body, of body and the dangerous drugs. So, ito yung paggamit or pag-consume mismo ng drugs. Okay? So, what are the unlawful acts? Section 4, importation of dangerous drugs and controlled precursor and essential chemicals. Import or bring any dangerous drug or any controlled precursor and essential chemicals. Pag sinabi kasi nating importation of dangerous drugs or controlled precursor, ito yung ini-import. Kasi sa bansa natin, hindi naman available yung mga chemicals na kailangan. So ngayon, ang ginagawa nila, ini-export or ini-import yung mga chemicals na yon papunta dito sa bansa natin. Okay? So, kung minsan, hindi lang yung mga chemicals, kundi yung finished products na, tulad ng cocaine. So, nanggagaling yan sa ibang bansa. So, pinupunta na lang dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? So, that is importation of dangerous drugs. Next is sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, and transportation of dangerous drug and controlled precursors and essential chemicals. So, ito yung sinasabi nating sell or sell, trade, administer, dispense, delivery, give away to another, distribute, dispatch in transit, or transport. So, this is under section 5. So, any dangerous drug, any controlled precursor or essential chemical, or by means of middleman. Okay? Totally, sa pagkuhan ng drugs is may mga middleman tayo or tinatawag nilang brokers. Okay? Next is, ito yung sinasabi natin, no? Administer, deliver, they will transport, then meron silang insider, no? Sa dangerous drugs. Okay? Qualifying circumstances. No, ito yung qualifying circumstances sa drugs, no? Sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, distribution, or transportation of dangerous drugs, controlled precursor, and essential chemical transpire within 100 meters from the school. So, for example, nagbibenta kayo, nagpapalitan kayo ng drugs. So, within the 100-meter radius of the school, automatically, that is a qualifying circumstances. Okay? And, ito pa, no? Use of minors, mentally incapacitated individuals as runners, couriers, and messengers, in any other capacity directly connected to dangerous drugs or controlled precursors and essential chemical trade. Okay? Qualifying circumstances na naman yun. Kasi, common na ginagamit ng mga pushers is yung mga bata. No? Kasi yung mga bata, hindi paghihinalaan yan. Kaya sila ang pinapatakbo or pinagdi-deliver ng illegal drugs. Okay? Next is, victim of the offense is a minor or mentally incapacitated individual or should a dangerous drug and or controlled precursor and essential chemical involved in any offense herein provided by the proximate cause of death of the victim. So, organize, manage, acts as a financiers or cuddler. Okay? So, eto na, pumapasok pag yung mga biktima mo or yung binibentahan mo are minors. Okay? Yun yung nakakatakot. So, based nga sa discussion natin, yung mga 15 years old is nag-i-start na silang gumamit ng drugs. Pag yun, nahuli sa'yo na binibentahan mo yung mga yun, that is a qualifying circumstances. Okay? So, elements. First, identify the buyer and seller, the object and consideration. Second, delivery of things sold and payment thereof. So usually, ito yung mga pinag-uusapan natin, no, na elements ng qualifying circumstances. So dapat mayroong buyer and seller. Okay? And at the same time, dapat confirm nagbayad siya. Okay? So next is testimonial evidence. Testimony of the bypass team or entrapment team. No, dapat meron tayong pusher buyer, may police investigator, may forensic chemist, and arresting officer. So, dapat may pusher buyer tayo. No? Then, merong mag-iimbestiga, merong magbe-verify ng nakuha nating drugs, kung anong element yon, and meron tayong arresting officer. Okay? Section 6. Maintenance of den, dive, or resort. No. Maintaining a den, dive, or resort, any dangerous drug is used or sold in any form, any controlled precursor, and essential chemical is used or sold in any form. So, ibig sabihin, yung den, dive, or resort, nagbibenta ng drugs, and merong ginagamit doon sa mismong den, dive, or resort. No, yun yung kwan natin. No? So, meron din siyang qualifying circumstances. A minor was allowed to use the drugs in such places. So, gumagamit yung minor doon sa area yon, that is a qualifying circumstances. Meron din tayong dangerous drug to be proximate cause of the death of a person using the same in such den, dive, or resort. For example, sa resort, may namatay doon. Ang cause of death is illegal drugs. That is a qualifying circumstances. Dapat na monitor to ng may-ari ng resort or dive. No. Then, owned by a third person, confiscated, cheated in favor of the government. Okay? Organizer, managers, or financier, protector, and cuddler. So, are the employees and visitors of drug den is liable? So, yun yung tanong. So, for example, pumunta ka sa isang resort, eh, hindi mo alam, mayroon palang transaction ng drugs doon. Ang tanong, liable ka ba o hindi? So, ang sagot doon, yes. Bakit yes? No. Kasi, unang-una, dapat alam mo yung pinupuntahan mo. Hindi ka pumupunta basta-basta sa isang lugar. Eh, kung nakita mo naman is may mga illegal transaction, nako, umalis ka na. Baka mamaya, biglang ma-raid, no, masama ka pa doon. Okay? So, any employee of a den, dive, or resort who is aware of the nature of the place or such is liable under this law. Okay? Any person who not being included in the provision of this preceding paragraph is aware of the nature of the place as such shall knowingly visit the same. No, alam mo na kang may nagbibenta doon, alam mo na nga na drug din yun, pupunta ka pa. So, yun yung sinasabi natin. Okay? Section 8, manufacture of dangerous drugs and controlled precursors and essential chemicals. So, manufacture of dangerous drugs. So, gumagawa sila ng, for example, shabu. No. Then, controlled precursor and essential chemical. So, may mga chemicals doon. No? The presence of any controlled precursor and essential chemical or laboratory equipment in the clandestine laboratory is a prima facie proof of any manufacture or any dangerous drug. Ano ba yung prima facie? An evidence that can stand alone. Pag sinabi natin prima facie evidence. Now, positive. Positive na yon. Pag mayroong mga controlled precursor doon, hindi ibig sabihin na caught in the act na gumagawa sila ng drugs. Kahit mga equipments lang yung andon. No. It means to say that is a manufacture of dangerous drugs. Aggravating circumstances. Okay? Pag sinabi natin aggravating circumstances, so, you will be sentenced to the highest violation of the law. Any phase of the manufacturing process was conducted in the presence of or with the help of minors. So, aggravating circumstances or papataasin yung sentensya mo. No? So, pupunta sa, for example, medium to maximum. No? Any phase or manufacturing process was established or undertaken within 100 meters of the following: residential, business, church, or school premises. So, pag malapit ka sa mga areang to, that will considered as aggravating circumstances. Okay? So, clandestine lab, secured or protected with booby traps. So, may mga booby traps ka doon para pag may pumasok, sasabog, ganun. So, that will be an aggravating circumstances. Clan lab or clan laboratory concealed with legitimate business operation. For example, ang nakalagay doon is beer house. No. May business ka doon, no? Or milk tea, sabihin na nating milk tea. Kaya pala, iba yung lasa ng milk tea mo, iba pala yung tinitimpla mo doon, no? That is clandestine laboratory using a legitimate business operations or yung mga nightclub, yung mga ganun. Usually, doon nila pinapasok, no? Employment of a practitioner, chemical engineer, public official, or foreigner. Okay, that is an aggravating circumstances. Now, financier, protector, and cuddler. Okay, if you are financier and protector and cuddler, that is an aggravating circumstances. Section 9, illegal chemical diversion of controlled precursor and essential chemicals. Divert any controlled precursor and essential chemical. Ito na yung sinasabi nating chemical diversion. No? Ito yung the sale, distribution, supply of, or transport of legitimate, imported, in transit, manufactured, and procured controlled precursors and essential chemicals in dilute mixture or in concealed form. Okay? For example, magtra-transport ka ng mga laruan. Okay? Pero yung laman ng laruan is illegal drugs. That is chemical diversion. No? Tulad ng nahuli nun, yung magnet ng lifter yata yun. Ang laman sa loob ng magnet, na malaking magnet, is isang maraming shipment ng shabu. Okay? So, maraming paraan para mai-transport yung mga illegal drugs. Okay? Manufacture or delivery of equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia for dangerous drugs and controlled precursors and essential chemicals. So, eto kasi, no, mga chemicals tong mga to para gumawa ng shabu. Usually, yung laman ng shabu is puro chemicals, no? Hindi natural, chemical lahat. No? So, iba-ibang chemical yung ginagamit para makagawa sila ng shabu. So, ayan, no? Deliver, possession with the intent to deliver, or manufacture with the intent to deliver. Okay? Next, equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia for dangerous drugs, knowing or under circumstances where one reasonable should know that it would be used, plant, propagate, cultivate, grow, harvest, manufacture, compound, convert, produce, process, prepare, test, analyze, pack or repack, store, contain, or conceal in any dangerous drug and or controlled precursor are essential chemical in violation of this act. Qualified if uses a minor or mentally incapacitated individual to deliver and such equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia for dangerous drugs. So, ibig sabihin, no, it will qualify na naman yung paggamit ng minor and mentally incapacitated. So, hindi naman pag sinabi nating mentally incapacitated is ito yung wala sa tamang pag-iisip. No, walang utak, ganun, sira ulo, yung mga ganun, no. Pag gumamit ka kasi ng bata, no, that will fall under that term, no. Hindi pa buo yung pag-iisip nila. Section 11, possession of dangerous drugs. Possession of any dangerous drug are the following. So, ito yung nirevise ng batas natin na 9165. So, dati 6425, medyo mas mataas yung kwan nito, no? Dating 10 grams, ngayon 10 grams, noon is mga 50 grams, ganon, no? Okay? So, 10 grams or more opium, morphine, heroin, cocaine, or cocaine hydrochloride, marijuana resin, or marijuana resin oil. So, dapat, pag 10 grams yan, nako, patay-patay ka na. So, there is a corresponding penalties regarding that. Okay? Sa shabu naman is 50 grams. No? Dati, mas mataas pa yan. No? Maabot ng 100. Ngayon, medyo mas mababa para mas ma-define yung pag-implement ng law natin. Okay? 50 grams or more methamphetamine hydrochloride or shabu. Okay? 500 grams or more of marijuana. No? Paano nga pag isang sako na yon? Naku, ilang kilo na yon? No? Patay tayo dyan. Okay? 10 grams or more other dangerous drugs, ecstasy, paramethoxamphetamine or PMA, trimethopsamphetamine, TMA, or lysergic acid diethylamide or LSD na tinatawag natin. Okay? Meron din tayong gamma hydroxamphetamine or GHB. Okay? Without having therapeutic value or if the quantity possessed is far beyond the therapeutic requirements. Okay? Kasi may prescription na ganyan. Okay? So, pag sinabi naman, oh, it's prescribed, gamot ko yan. No, tinitingnan naman yung prescription. Kung sumobra, automatically, that will fall under possession of dangerous drugs. Okay? Possession of equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia for dangerous drugs. Okay? Possession or have under his or her control. Okay? So, pag nasa iyo, ibig sabihin, nasa bahay mo, nasa loob ng bahay mo, ikaw ang nakapangalan doon sa bahay mo, that is possession, no? Any equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia, fit or intended for smoking, consumption, administering, injecting, ingesting, or introducing any dangerous drug into the body. Okay? For example, niraid yung bahay mo, nakuhanan ka ng foil lighter, no, na iba naman yung itsura, no, automatically, that is possession of paraphernalia, kahit walang nakuhang drugs sa'yo. Okay? So, mayroong mga nakuhang ginagamit para sa pag-introduce ng drugs doon sa katawan natin. Okay? The possession of such is a prima facie evidence that the possessor has smoked, consumed, administered himself or herself, ingested, or used a dangerous drug and shall be presumed to have violated Section 15 of this Act. Okay? So, prima facie evidence. Okay? Yun yung sinasabi natin. Okay? Pag meron kang mga paraphernalia doon sa bahay mo mismo. Okay? Next is elements. In prosecution for illegal possession of dangerous drugs, the following facts must be proven with moral certainty: that the accused is in possession of the object identified as prohibited or regulated drug. The such possession is not authorized by law. That the accused is freely and consciously possess the said drug. So that are the elements. No. Okay? Possession under the law includes not only actual possession but also constructive possession. Okay? Actual possession exists when the drug is in the immediate physical possession of the or control of the accused. So, nasa katawan niya mismo. No? So, nasa katawan niya mismo, nakuha mismo sa kanya yung shabu, marijuana, or other illegal drugs. Okay? Paano naman yung sinasabi nating constructive possession? Okay? Constructive possession exists when the drug is under the domain and control of the accused or when he has the right to exercise dominion and control over the place where it is found. For example, sa loob ng bahay niya, sa loob ng kwarto niya, or sa loob ng property niya. So, yun yung tinatawag nating constructive possession. Okay? Next, while it's not necessary that the property to be searched or seized, it should be owned by the person against whom the search warrant is issued. However, there must be a sufficient showing that the property is under appellant's control or possession. Sabihin mo, hindi naman akin yan. Nagre-renta lang ako dito. Ayun nga, nagre-renta. So, ikaw na yung may domain doon. So, may control ka doon sa areang yon. Okay? Possession of dangerous drugs during parties, social gathering, or meetings. Napaka-common yan, no? Sa mga parties kasi pang-hyper, pang-pabibo, sabi nila, no? Kaya gumagamit sila during may parties or social gatherings. Okay? Possession of any dangerous drugs during party, social gathering, or meeting in the proximate company of at least 2 persons. Okay? Yun yung sinasabi nating section 13. Okay? Section 14. Possession of equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia for dangerous drugs during parties and social gatherings or meetings. No. So, possession or have under his or her control equipment, instrument, apparatus, and other paraphernalia fit or intended for smoking, consuming, administering, ingesting, or introducing any dangerous drug into the body. Okay? During parties, social gatherings, or meetings, and proximate company of at least 2. So, ngayon, meron sa possession mo yung lighter, tutor, ano pa ba, foil, yung mga yon. Okay? Automatically, that is a paraphernalia to introduce shabu in your body. Or, nagdadala ka naman ng pang-inject or pipe, yung mga ganon. Okay? That is considered as paraphernalia to introduce dangerous drug to your body. Okay? Use of dangerous drugs. No. A person apprehended or arrested found to be positive for use of any drug, any dangerous drug after a confirmatory test. No. This section shall not be applicable where the person tested is also found to have her possession such of any dangerous drug provided under this section. Okay? For example, nag-positive ka sa drugs. No. Mayroong confirmatory test yon. So, kailangan kang ipa-confirmatory test to verify na nag-take ka talaga ng drugs. So, nagpa-drug test ka, mayroon pa yon confirmatory test. Okay? Para ma-confirm that you are using a dangerous drugs. Section 16, cultivation or culture of plants classified as dangerous drugs or are source thereof. So, ito, pinapakita yung mga marijuana. So, ito yung mga common na tinatanim dito. No. Usually, pag cultivation and culture, we're speaking about natural. No. Hindi natin pinag-uusapan dito yung pag-manufacture ng shabu. Okay? Ayan, so yan yung mga pictures ng na-confiscate na drugs kung paano nila tinatransport yung or kino-conceal yung drugs. Okay? What happened to the confiscated drugs? Ito yung tanong natin, no? Ano bang nangyayari doon sa nakukonfiscate na drugs? Okay? Sabi nila, bumabalik din sa merkado para ibenta. Sabi nila, ito yung ginagamit nilang pangtanim doon sa mga pinaplantahan nila na hinuhuli, no, yung planting of evidence na sinasabi natin, okay? So tingnan natin kung ano yung sinasabi ng batas natin. Under Section 21, custody and disposition of confiscated, seized and or surrendered dangerous drugs, plant sources of dangerous drugs, controlled precursors, essential chemicals, instrument, paraphernalia, and or laboratory equipment. Okay? The PDEA shall take charge and have the custody of all dangerous drugs, plant, source of dangerous drugs, controlled precursors, and essential chemicals, as well as instrument, paraphernalia, and or laboratory equipment, so confiscated, seized, and surrendered for proper disposition of the following manner. So, ibig sabihin, si PDEA ang mag-take charge doon sa mga confiscated illegal drugs. Okay? So, the apprehending team having initial custody and control of the drug shall immediately after seizure and confiscation physically or they will conduct physical inventory and photograph the same in the presence of the accused or the persons from whom such items were confiscated or seized or his representative or counsel. A representative from the media and the Department of Justice or DOJ na tinatawag natin, and any elected public official who shall require to sign the copies of the inventory and be given a copy thereof. So, ipapareceive nila yung mga na-confiscate na item para wag mong sabihin, oh, bakit dumami? So, ipapareceive sa'yo yun. Okay? I-inventory nila, bibilangin nila, ikikilo nila, i-identify nila yung mga confiscated items and ipapapirma sa nahuli. Okay? Next, implementing rules and regulation of Section 21. Okay? Section 21, custody and disposition of confiscated, seized, and or surrendered dangerous drugs, plant source, or dangerous drugs, controlled precursors, and essential chemicals, instrument, and or laboratory equipment. The apprehending team having initial custody and control of the drug shall immediately after seizure and confiscation and physical inventory and photograph the same in the presence of the accused or the persons from which the item were confiscated, his representative, and media and DOJ, and any elected official, same, shall be required to sign the copies of the inventory and given a copy thereof, provided that the physical inventory and photograph shall be conducted in the place where the search warrant is served, or at the nearest police station, or at the nearest office of the apprehending officer team, whichever is practicable in case of warrantless seizure. Provided further that non-compliance with these requirements under justifiable grounds, as long as the integrity and the evidentiary value of the seized items are properly preserved by the apprehending officer or team, shall not render void and invalid such seizure and custody over the said items. So, eto yung number 1 natin, sinasabi dito, kung saan na-serve yung warrant, doon dapat pinapa-receive and pinapa-pirma or dinodocument yung mga items. Pero may mga instances na hindi safe yung isang area kung saan nahuli yung isang tao. So, pinupunta nila doon sa kampo nila or office ng apprehending team. So, yun yung ginagawa nila. Kaya huwag tayong magtaka kung minsan hindi na ini-inventory doon sa area, especially kung mayroong problema sa security, nililipat nila agad doon sa office nila para doon na i-document. Kasi, maiipit din yung mga operatives natin. Okay? Next, Section 26. Attempt or conspiracy. Any attempt or conspiracy to commit the following. Okay, first, importation of any dangerous drug or controlled precursors, sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, dispensation and transportation of any dangerous drug and controlled precursors, maintenance of a den, dive or resort, manufacture of any dangerous drug and controlled precursor, and cultivation or culture of plants which are source of dangerous drugs. Okay, there is an attempt when the offender commences the commission of a felony directly by overt acts and does not perform all the acts of execution which should produce the felony by reason of some cause or accident other than his own spontaneous desistance. Okay, under revised penal code. Okay? So, eto, yung pagkukonspire natin. Okay, for example, mayroong nagtanim ng marijuana. Alam mo. Okay, taga dun ka. So, binibigyan ka. Okay? Ikaw yung taga-takbo niya. So, that is conspiracy. Okay? Can the accused avail the plea bargaining mode or invoke the provision of the law? Yun yung tanong. Okay? Ang sagot doon is malaking no. Okay? Dangerous Drug Board, policy making and strategically formulating body. So, yung DDB natin, no, mayroon siyang 17 members. Sila ang gumagawa ng policy making board sa dangerous drugs. Okay? So, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or yung tinatawag nating PDEA. Okay? So, sila yung implementing arm of Dangerous Drug Board. Okay? When in terms sa illegal drugs ang pinag-uusapan natin, no, si PDEA ang pumapasok dyan. Okay? Next, sila din ang custodian ng lahat ng nakuha or nahuling dangerous drugs. So, nasa kanila lahat yung mga paraphernalia, chemicals, and illegal drugs. Okay? Then, sila din yung nagpa-file ng case ng mga nahuli nilang gumagamit, nagbebenta, or yung mga drug den. Okay? PDEA po ang nagpa-file ng mga yan. No? Ibig sabihin, yung mga nahuli lang nila. No? Kasi on the part of the PNP, meron din silang sariling drug enforcement team, meron silang regional drug enforcement team, national drug enforcement team. Okay? Sila din, pag silang nakahuli, usually silang nagpa-file ng case and silang nag-testify. Okay? So, establish and maintain a national drug intelligence system. Okay? Ang problema natin, konti lang yung mga PDEA agents natin. No, hindi ganoon karami. No, I think Region 1 noon, nung nag-attend pa ako ng DDB summit, mga ganon, seminars, konti lang sila, hindi pa umaabot ng 10 per area. So, ibig sabihin, medyo kailangan nila ng manpower para mas ma-eradicate or matanggal yung drugs dito sa bansa natin. Okay? So, what happens to the existing drug units? Kasi bago yung creation ng PDEA or bago yung creation ng 9165, meron tayong mga law enforcement agencies na nakakwan doon sa drug war natin. Tulad ni NAR Group or NARCOM. No. The PNP's NAR Group and other law enforcement anti-drug units were abolished. So, natanggal. Or yung iba, na-absorb or inabsorb ni PDEA. Ganun po ang nangyari. Okay? Next, does the PNP still authorized to conduct anti-illegal drug operation? Yun yung tanong. Kasi meron naman ng implementing arm, yung DDB, na nakakonsentrate lang doon sa illegal drugs. So, ang sagot doon, is, so they are allowed. So yes, they are allowed. No, they are allowed to conduct illegal drugs operation. As we see it, Section 86 is explicit in saying that the PDEA shall be the lead agency in the investigations and prosecutions of drug-related cases. Therefore, other law enforcement bodies still possess authority to perform similar function as the PDEA, as long as the illegal drug cases will eventually be transferred to later or PDEA. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi natin. So, is non-coordination of the PNP with the PDEA prior to bypass invalidate the operation? Na-invalidate ba yung operation natin pag walang PDEA? Ang sagot doon is hindi. Okay? Kasi tulad ng sinabi ko, no, hindi lahat ng oras nandyan ang PDEA. No? Kasi tulad nga ng sinabi sa naunang slide na kailangan ding i-turn over yung after nagkaroon ng bypass operation for interrogation, interview to gather some evidence or lead. So, yun yung sinasabi natin. So, hindi ma-invalidate yung bypass operation natin kasi kukunti nga lang yung PDEA agents natin. Liability of government officials, employee, and law enforcers. Okay? Any member of law enforcement agencies or any government officials and employee after due notice fails to refuses intentionally or negligently to appear as a witness for the prosecution in any proceedings involving violations of act or violation of this act without any valid reason, in addition to administrative liability shall may be meted out by his or immediate superior for appropriate body. So, if in case you are a witness in drug operation, you are a police officer, you will testify in court. So, hindi ka nag-attend hanggang na-dismiss yung case. So, you will be liable. Okay? So, they will investigate you kung ano yung reason, bakit na-dismiss yung kaso, bakit di ka nag-a-appeal. Kung meron namang valid reason, so okay naman. Pero pag walang valid reason, yun, delikado. So, baka ma-administrative case ka. Okay? Next, the immediate superior of the member of law enforcement agency or any other government employee mentioned in the preceding paragraph. In addition, perpetual absolute disqualification from public office if despite due notice to them and the witness concerned, the former does not exert reasonable effort to present the latter to the court. The member of the law enforcement agency or any other government employee mentioned in this preceding paragraph shall not be transferred or reassigned during the pendency of the case in court except for compelling reasons. Ayun nga yung sinasabi natin. So, dapat pag di ka nakapunta, magbigay ka agad ng notice. Kung may training, magbibigay ng notice na hindi ka makakapag-attend sa court hearings. Kasi yung law enforcer din ang may ipit dito without any valid explanation. Okay? That his or her immediate superior shall notify the court where the case is pending of the order to transfer or reassign within 24 hours from its approval. That his or her immediate superior be liable should he or she fail to notify the court of such order to transfer or reassign. Prosecution and punishment under the section shall be without prejudice to any liability for any or for violation of any existing law. Okay? So, liability of government officials, employees who delay the prosecution of case. So, ang tanong, meron ba? Okay? Justice delayed is justice denied. Yun yung sinasabi natin. Okay? Any government official or employee tasked with the prosecution of drug-related case who through patent laxity, inexcusable neglect, unreasonable delay, or deliberately cause the unsuccessful prosecution and dismissal of said case shall be imprisoned for 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. Ayan, yan yung penalties niya para sa mga taong nagde-delay ng prosecution of case ng mga drug offenders natin. Naku, sayang, 12 years to 20 years. Okay? So, that is the punishment. Okay, so any questions? If you have question, please feel free to ask question in the chat box. If you like this video, please subscribe and like this video. Okay, so thank you.